Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Very good morning to all of you. English is okay? English? So, I head the Department of Spiritual Care in this hospital and the 14 hospitals. And I also am head of the Department of Palliative Care and Hospice. This topic, about 20 years back, I went to Baramati in Mr. Sharad Pawar's institution, stayed there for 12 days and developed this whole curriculum of end of life care. And I have a presentation of 2.5 hours to 3 hours on this subject. This is a mini presentation because I have to cover up in 1 hour's time. Our subject is end of life care. Now, no one wants to talk about death. Everyone wants to just avoid it, right? But there is a saying in English that as inevitable as death. That means this cannot be avoided. However you run behind, run ahead, run sides, death will follow you, follow me, everybody else. So that is why we are most interested in talking about this subject. Those who are people in devotional life, what is our goal? General, everybody says moksha, that is liberation, right? When does liberation come? After death. So if you want liberation, you have to go through death first. Then only there is a guarantee that we will get liberated or will come back again, right? But death cannot be avoided as a milestone. And this is one exam that no one prepares for. Everybody is preparing very hard for NEET, for MBBS, for IIT JEE, and so many competitive entrance exams all over the world. But no one is preparing for this examination, which is inevitably coming for everybody. Nobody is like, I may appear for MBBS, you may not appear for MBBS, you may appear for some JEE. So there is choice for you. But in case of death, there is no choice. Death doesn't differentiate between black and white, old and young, Indian and American, Malayali and Maharashtrian. It is equal for all. In front of death, everybody goes flat. We may stand upright and straight with pride, but when death comes, we are all flat, either in coffin or on tirdi or anything else, right? So we should discuss this subject with great interest. Learn this. That's why it's called as thanatology. Thanatos means death, and thanatology means science of death. And if you study it properly, scientifically, it's a very interesting subject matter. More interesting because it deals with you and me equally, everybody. That is why do not hesitate. Do not put this subject for option like we put in option na in examination. ये टॉपिक छोड़ देने का उसको, वो पढ़ने का नहीं, वो ऑप्शन देगा तो चलता है. But this should not be put in option because there is no option for you in front of death. So this is a vast subject. This begins right from the moment of death, birth. What do you say, madam? Child is 1 day old. Child is 8 hours old. Child is 2 days old. Do you ever say that child is 1 year young, 1 month young? Or you call yourself 50-year young? No, everybody is called 50-year-old. Right from the moment of birth, we are running our journey towards the end, that is death. Everybody is running incessantly with same speed towards the event called death. So we all have to study with interest. And believe me, all the fear that is attached to this subject will vanish immediately if you study this properly. Once you study this properly, there will be no fear. In fact, I will tell you, if you study this in a proper perspective, in a spiritual way, in a practical way, then you will wait for this event to happen. You will not run away or avoid. You will wait. All the saintly people are waiting for this day. Why is that? Because they know when this day comes, I will meet my Lord. Marathi mein there is one Vanga which says, Janabai says, that I am not fearful of death. Because I know when I die, I will go to Vaikuntha. I will go to the kingdom of God. So why should I fear? It is my meeting with you. The time to meet you is death. Death will make me meet you. So the saintly personality Janabai is saying, I'm eager to meet you. That's why, in other words, I'm eager to meet the death. So death is viewed in a wrong sense by everybody out of ignorance only. If there is proper knowledge, death is not an unpleasant subject. It's a very interesting and a loving subject. And we have one very beautiful statement in our hospice and palliative care subject. We say very confidently and very proudly, death is not a sad event, death is a celebration. But we have to turn that event into celebration by our intervention. And that is this intervention. It's a vast subject. I am coming to the core of the subject only. Core is somebody is about to die, what care is to be given to that person. Otherwise, this topic of palliative care, hospice, the preparation of death is all a very big subject. Now we have a specialization in after MBBS. Now you get MD in Tata Hospital for palliative medicine. Before that, it was not available. Now it is available. It is developing a big subject, and we are in this subject for last 19 years. We have developed this whole topic in India, in your own motherland, in my own motherland. Technicality we have studied in USA, but the spiritual aspect of this is fully developed in India based on our scriptures. So we are very proud. This subject matter which we are talking about is total our production. But we studied that palliative care in USA, in San Diego Hospice, in California. Okay. So spiritual care at death. Specifically, this particular presentation is focused on only spiritual care. There are many other cares which are very important at time of death. One is medical care. One is nursing care, very important. Extremely important volume of death care is nursing care. Then third care is social care. Social worker comes in the picture. Lot of work is there for him. And fourth important dimension of care at death is spiritual care. And then there are many other cares like physiotherapy, acupuncture, acupressure, music therapy, aromatherapy, anything under earth, under the sun is there in the care of the people who are dying. We are today focusing on only spiritual part of it. In between, I'll keep telling you about medical aspects because I am also a medical doctor, MBBS. Briefly, I will go through because these are all big subject matters. Essentially, we have to know that you and me are souls. We are not this body. Body is changing and you are constant. When body dies, you go away from body, body remains there only. You go from one body to another body. So this says that originally we were all with the Lord in the spiritual body, in the spiritual world. And there is no birth and death. But when we come down here, you and me have entered this body, whatever we are seeing. We are taking birth, we grow, we become young, we become middle-aged, we become old. Sometimes in between we get deceased many times, and one day we die. Again, we change the body, go to another body, the same cycle continues. We call it as cycle of birth and death. Repeated cycles of birth and death. The living entities, that is you and me, are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. As we put on new garments, giving up old ones, the soul similarly accepts new body at the point of death. One who has taken birth is sure to die, and one who is dying sure to take birth again. The purpose of the spiritual care at death is to unite the soul with the Lord, not the body with the Lord. The body is perishable, body is burnt, either buried or burnt or given to vultures, but the soul is not dying. The soul cannot be burnt, cannot be made wet, cannot be broken into pieces. Soul is eternal fragment of the Lord. Why do we believe in giving spiritual care at death? Because we know soul exists at birth, during life, at time of death, and after death also. And we know the needs of the soul as much as needs of the body. Needs of body is food, sleep, medicines when you get sick. So many things are there, body needs. But the soul's needs are little different. Soul needs to get out of the body and the material world. What is the prisoner require? Prisoner requires to leave the jail, go out of jail. That is first requirement. Getting food in the jail is a secondary requirement. Primary requirement is he has to first work to get out of the jail. While he is in jail, he has to eat and sleep also and do some stone breaking also. But the primary need of the prisoner is to get out of prison. The soul is in the prison of the body and the material world. Next, the soul needs love. How many of you believe this, that you need love? Everybody needs love. Even the bird needs love. Even the ant needs love. Even the animal needs love. Dog needs love. Everybody needs love. So you and me also need love. Soul needs the Supreme Lord, because Supreme Lord is the father of the soul. He has come from the Supreme Father. So it is always requiring to reunite with the Eternal Father. Then the soul needs holy name. Why the soul needs holy name? Because holy name is the means by which the soul unites with the Lord. Last is the soul requires service to the saints and to the Lord. This is a big subject, but in short, by serving the Lord and his devotees, saintly people, we unite with the Lord, we connect with the Lord, we come closer to the Lord. Now I'll come to this subject matter. The chanting of the holy names is supposed to be Yuga Dharma, that is Dharma of this age. You see, Christians are chanting on rosaries, Muslims are chanting on tasbihs, Hindus are chanting on either Rudraksh Mala or Tulsi Mala or other malas. But you will find everybody who is supposed to be devotional, they have mala in the hand. And what they are doing on mala? Chanting the name of whatever they believe in, right? Allah, Jehovah, or Jesus, or Krishna, or Ram, or Hanuman, or Narsimha, whatever their faith is. So this chanting of the holy name is the only means of easily connecting with the Lord. I'm not saying that there are no other methods. There are many other methods. Acquiring knowledge, doing good karma, doing tapasya, visiting holy places, offering donations, doing tapasya, doing dhyana, meditation. There are so many ways. Out of all these ways, the easiest way, and wherever, everywhere in the world you can do. You don't have to go to jungle as a sannyasi, give up your family. Wherever you are, you can chant the holy name. You can be a woman, you can be a man, you can be a child, you can be an old person, you can be Indian, you can be foreigner, you can be Hindu, you can be Christian, you can be Muslim. Any walks of life and any stage of life, one can chant the holy name and connect with the Lord. And most important, wonderful thing is, moment you chant the name of the Lord, you immediately feel the connection with the Lord. And that is something like, I keep telling you jalebi is so good, and I keep telling you jalebi is so good, but till you eat yourself, you don't know how good it is. Similarly, I may say, when I chant the holy name, I feel connection with the Lord. You have to also chant and feel what I am saying is true or not. Why death care? Huh? First, we believe that the soul exists, and soul is there at all times. Before birth, after birth, during life, during death, after death also. Second thing is, how many of you believe that we are helpless at the time of death? Why? Because doctor's treatment doesn't work. Your money does not work. Your influence does not work. Whatever you think you have and you trust it, nothing works. I am a doctor, right? I have a hospital, not one, 14 hospitals are there. So I should not die because I have got so much support. But when my time comes, all my friends are there, all the specialties are there, all the facilities there, all the equipments are there. Everybody is right on the beck and call, but still, helplessly, I have to pass away from this. Everybody, they will say, bye bye, sir. We remember you, will miss you. So, in spite of all the support that I have, and I think I have, I will still go. because the moment of death is a helpless moment. Nothing works at that time. See, and then what happens is, what is the crisis at death? There is pain. Everybody suffers pain when they are leaving this body. At the same time, when death is coming up, why people are crying and they don't want to go? Because there is loss of this body. We are in this house, we are living for 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years. So naturally, if the house you live, you are attached to that, right? You don't want to, even if it's old, dilapidated, dysfunctional, still you love your body. You don't want to leave your body. And third thing is, you're so attached to your family, which is because of this body, right? This body has been given by your mother and father, and this mother and father also has given you brother and sisters, grandma and grandpa also, and then you have children of your own, you have wife. There is so many entourage means क्या कहते हैं उसको, समाज बना के रखा है उसके बॉडी के अराउंड. So when we are dying, we are thinking, oh, I will lose these relatives, I lose this family, I lose my grandpa, grandma, grandchild, my wife, my beautiful son, my daughter. So we are feeling very sad. Third thing is, we are always worrying at the moment of death. क्या होगा मरने के बाद? कहाँ जाएंगे? स्वर्ग जाएंगे, नरक में जाएंगे, यमराज के पास जाएंगे, लॉर्ड ऑफ डेथ के पास जाएंगे, पनिशमेंट मिलेगा कि रिवॉर्ड मिलेगा, अच्छा होगा कि बुरा होगा, क्या होगा पता नहीं है. वो भक्ति वेदांत में पढ़ते समय सुना था कि जब करना चाहिए भगवान के नाम का, लेकिन सुना नहीं. अभी तो डेथ आने का समय आ गया, तो अभी मुझे डर लग रहा है कि मैंने तो सुना तो नहीं उस टाइम पे, अभी क्या होगा, क्या भगवान मुझसे नाराज हैं, इज ही एंग्री विथ मी? सो मेनी 51 क्वेश्चंस विल कम टू योर माइंड. Fear is there, fear. And the last is weak spirituality. That means whole life we have been hearing something, some teacher, some mother, some grandfather, some auntie, uncle, some sadhu, some baba has come and told you, baba भगवान का नाम ले लो, ये सब गलत गलत काम छोड़ दो, ये सिगरेट पीना, दारू पीना बंद करो. But we have not heard. And now when the death is in front of you, you feel, oh, my spirituality is so weak. Now कौन सा कार्ड खेलूं भगवान के सामने, कौन सा कार्ड दिखाऊं? Nothing is working now. I don't have any card which will impress the Lord. So weak spirituality. Fear of degradation. Guilty feeling is there. Death itself is fearful कि ये body छूटेगा, दुनिया छूटेगी, परिवार छूटेगा, पता नहीं कहाँ जाऊंगा. तो ये सब स्थिति में we are all helpless, including me and you and everybody else, your patient, your doctor also. And in that helpless condition, if you can become helpful to that soul, to do what? To unite him with the Lord. Instead of sending him somewhere else, or he'll go by his own destiny, it is better to help him at this time. That's why we do death care. We are not gods. We are not Yamraj. We are not any other god. We are simply humble servants of the person who is dying helplessly. To help him to remember the Lord and to unite the Lord is the only purpose of spiritual care at end of life. Okay. Antakale chamameva swaran muktva kalevaram. Srimad Bhagavad Gita says that if you remember whatever you remember, that you will achieve without fail. When? At the time of death. But if you remember me at the time of death, you will attain me without fail. So our purpose is somehow or other, by hook or crook, yena kena prakarena, make the person remember the Lord, not necessarily Hindu God. If he is Christian, he should remember his God. If he is Muslim, he should remember God in his own understanding. Whatever faith he has got, he should remember that God without fail. So please understand, spiritual care at end of life is not religious care. It is not Christian care or Muslim care or Hindu care or Sanatan care or Vaishnav care. It is care given to the soul, and the soul does not have any religion. Soul is only one identity, part and parcel of God. भगवान का हिस्सा है वो भगवान को आप किसी भी रूप में देखो, पुकारो, वो आपकी इच्छा है. So your first thing and foremost to understand is spiritual care at end of life is not Hindu, Christian or Muslim. It is purely spiritual, connecting the soul with the Lord in his own understanding. Okay. So Krishna says, if you remember me, that means in our tradition, if you remember me, you will reach me. If you forget me and remember something else, you will go there. So I'm coming straight. There's a lot of big subject in this understanding. Most important thing also I will tell you right now, that before you enter giving for any patient any spiritual care, please take the permission. You are not supposed to do any spiritual care. Even if you think you are doing the best thing in the world, yes, it is the best thing in the world, but still the permission is required. If I am dying, I like to be asked, can I give you spiritual care? So I will ask how you give. Then you tell me. If I am convinced, I say, okay, you give. And if I am here and not convinced, I don't give. Call my brother, call my god brother, call my god sister, call my guru, call my sannyasi predecessor or my senior. So respecting people's independence is extremely important. In this hospital, when we offer spiritual care, if the patient says, I'm a Christian, I want to call this bishop or father from this church, we will say immediately call him. We allow these people to come and do the spiritual care to the person at the last moment of life. A mullah can come, a father can come, a bishop can come, a sannyasi can come, a guru can come, a devotee can come, Vaishnav can come, as per the request and demand of the patient, which is extremely important. First, you take permission. Second, you do what the patient feels like getting done for him. Okay. So, death care or end of life care is divided into three parts: pre death care or pre end of life care, end of life care, and post end of life care. Very simple. Generally, we understand this very simply. So, what is happening in the pre death care and where does it happen? Pre death care happens in either ICU, NICU, or some place in the hospital where intense care is given. Emergency also, ER also. Huh? And sometimes in ward, long-term disease like, cancer of long-standing 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, patient will keep coming for chemotherapy, keep coming for radiotherapy, keep coming for surgery, huh? Palliative surgery or curative surgery, attemptive surgery, whatever you say. So these are the locations. Sometimes pre-death care is given at home also. Patient may go after chemotherapy home and we have home care. There also we give pre-death care. So what is the main goal of pre-death care? Pre-death care is meant for developing relationship with the patient. Patient should know you, you should know the patient. That means who is the dear one, who is the closest one, who is around all the time. Dear ones are many, but those who are near you are the real dear ones, right? When you are in the last stage of life, who comes often to see you and take care of you is a real dear one. Your son may be in America, he doesn't come at all. He doesn't say, मेरे छुट्टी नहीं मिल रही, मैं नहीं आ रहा हूँ. So he may be son, but he's not a dear one because he's not useful at the last moment. So relationship building means to know who is the actual one, who is 24/7, 3 shifts with the patient, who is always bringing medicines, who pays the bills, who gets the reports of medical tests. That is the near and dear one. And to know the patient, what is his desire, what is he thinking, what are the unfulfilled desires, what is his will, how to make the will, how to fulfill the will, how to make the executor of will. These are all some of the aspects of pre-death care. He is not dying today. He has some 3 months, he has got some 4 months, he has got some 1 month. In that time, what all can be done needs to be done. And we have to put a list on paper, advance directives. वो क्या बोलेगा पेशेंट कि मेरी एक आंटी है, उसको मुझे मिलना है और सॉरी बोलना है, ये मेरा डिज़ायर है, मैं बहुत दिन से प्रयास कर रही थी लेकिन अभी तो मुझे बोलना ही पड़ेगा क्योंकि जा रही हूँ मैं. Somebody will say कि my son is in America, I want to meet him, please get him from America to India before I die, I want to see him. Here some people say I want to see my grandson's engagement before I die. And we have done everything in this hospital. I will tell you later. So relationship building. Get to know the patient, relatives by routine spiritual care. What is routine spiritual care? Reading scriptures, praying for the patient, helping the patient to pray himself, teaching him how to pray, making him hear some stories of God or his devotee saintly people, meeting him regularly, give him some prasadam regularly, give him God's mala, give him some holy items like water, holy waters. There are many things are there. So we do it every day. It's not a dying today, but we're giving him nourishment of spiritual items every day by visiting him every day and spending time with him and helping him to prepare positively for the inevitable event of death. Everybody knows, but everybody is fearful. What? How to prepare for this? I'm so scared. How to prepare? So we make the patient confident. We give him knowledge, and we actually help him to prepare himself for the final event. Like you are going to America today, suppose in the evening. Are you to be preparing your bag? You're checking your visa, checking your passport, you're picking your medicines, your spectacles, your spectacle case, your puff, what you require. Everything is you're preparing, na? You're putting in your bag and also checking the weight. Kitna weight hai? 25 kilo ऊपर तो नहीं हो गया? International flight hai. So we all are preparing when we are departing somewhere. So when we are departing from this body to some other body, we are not preparing. So we help them to prepare. We give them confidence. Don't worry. It is not a fearful event. It is just a passage of time, one place to another, one body to another body. Like you go from India to America, right? So what we do is here, see, the patient has undergone all the tests, doctor has visited, nurse has done a nursing care, then the spiritual care person comes and asks, what do you like to hear? Shall I read from Bible? Shall I read from Quran? Shall I read from Bhagavad Gita? Or some stories of Krishna from Bhagavatam or Mahabharata, Ramayana? And accordingly, she will sit and read. He will sit and read. This is patient from Slovenia. You may not be known to the country name. Slovenia, Croatia, these are the former Yugoslavia, very difficult countries. So from there she came. She doesn't speak English also. But she understands little bit by hands and everything. Her son will come and interpret. And she stayed with us for 1 year and we prepared her for the inevitable. Very gloriously she passed away. Then we give everybody the Lord's prasad. Prasad is a very nourishing item. It is not ordinary food. Food that is offered to the Lord with love and devotion. When we give you, it nourishes the body and the soul both. Then this is the important activity we do. We have in our Vaishnava hospital, we have a mobile temple. One temple is down, the Lord is there only. Another temple, Lord is going around. He goes around to OPDs, IPDs, ICU, NICU, all the open areas, pathology, X-ray, radiology, everywhere it goes. And everywhere the staff and the patients are meeting. Now this patient is, you can see, she is under chemotherapy. She lost all her hair, right? So she is on the bed and the spiritual care staff has brought the temple and she is offering flowers. This lady has flower in her hand. She is giving and she is offering. And he is giving prasadam after offering the flower to the Lord. This is daily event. Morning 1 hour, evening 2 hours. And this is the most important activity. This patient is a brahmachari, 29-year-old from place called Nigadi near Pune. He had cirrhosis of liver, end stage. Ascites, you can see his abdomen is very big. Last stage of life. And he had the desire to read one particular scripture called Chaitanya Charitamrita, the story of Lord Chaitanya, who is Krishna himself. So this is a, a nurse from Germany. Now she's retired, but she was a professional nurse. Now she is in Vrindavan, but she that time was in Bhaktivedanta hospital here. And this is the book she's reading, what he wanted to hear. He lived for 3 months after diagnosis of terminal illness. In all that 3 months, he heard this 17 volumes he heard from her. Daily, routinely, few hours a day, regularly. He was so happy that his final desire was fulfilled. So this is called as pre-death care, preparation, preparing yourself out of fear to meet the Lord. So what we do is we give emotional support. We prepare the relatives because relatives also are going through a phase of emotional turmoil. Na? अरे मम्मी जा रही है, आंटी जा रही है, वाइफ जा रही है, husband जा रहा है. It's also a shock na, for them कि I am going to lose my beloved. I am with him 24/7 for last so many years. My mother, my wife, my husband. And now that person is leaving. So we have to also work on relatives, not only on patient. Preparation is for the patient to leave, but preparation also for the relatives to accept the truth that he is leaving. And there is life beyond his existence also. Life doesn't end because he is going to die. Life is very big. They have to live longer. So they cannot just give up and say, I will also commit suicide. I will also go with my father or my husband or my son. It's not like that. So preparing the relatives, as I mentioned again here, take the permission of the patient. And then inviting priest, already I mentioned to you. Now we are coming to actual death care. Actual death care means there's a process called as beginning of death, active process of dying. This is the terminology. Active process of dying. It begins at some point of time. You know the patient is on deathbed, he's dying, any moment he will die. But the day he is going to die, the process starts. What does actually start? There's a chain stroke breathing, with a very labored, long, effortful breathing, not like you and me breathing now peacefully. There's stress in there, and you can make out that stress. Patient is pulling, and gasping for the air. So when this stage sets in, we are all trained to understand that the process of dying has begun. That is an important stage. As a nurse also will understand when we are in this field. And then we call the relatives. We inform the doctor, inform the nurse, everybody around that the process has begun. So whoever is supposed to be called, please call them. And what do we do in that? That may for life or remain for 1 hour. It may go for 3 hours. It may go for 24 hours also. It's like when you bring a delivery labor pain lady. Can you say she'll deliver in 1 hour, 2 hour? No, you'll keep this in dilatation and you'll say कि time लगेगा अभी 4 ही सेंटीमीटर है 4 ही इतना ही है अभी उतना ही है. Then when it becomes 8 centimeter, 10 centimeter, they'll say yes, in half an hour she'll deliver. So you cannot say when the lady comes in labor to you, she will be free in 1 hour. But say wait and watch, we examine you. So similarly, some ladies are there for 24 hours in labor pain, and some lady comes 1 hour and she delivers and goes home in the evening. Sometime normal delivery. Nowadays we don't leave them home immediately. But I'm telling you that as much as birth is unpredictable, how much time it will take, death also is that way only. We know process has begun. Labor pain has started, birth is in the process. Similarly, death also is in the process. In that period of time, we set up prayers. We immediately start praying. Some prayers are sung. We sing the prayers with instruments. Some are done by mouth, some by some shlokas, verses. And at that time, as per the religion of the patient, we will bring in Bible, we will bring in Quran, we will bring in any other scriptures that he wants to be heard. Sometimes the patient has made a will. Don't think will is only a property and ornaments. Will also is made specifically how I want to die. Like they will say, I want this devotee next to me. I want my mother next to me. I want my sister next to me. I want my wife next to me. I want this particular saintly person come and sing for me prayers. I want Jamuna Jal. I want Ganga Jal. I want Zamzam water from Mecca and Medina. I want Jordan River water. I want this father from this church. I want this mullah from this masjid. This is also documented. And when that actual time comes of dying, then we have to fulfill all those things. As soon as the active process of dying starts, we need to activate all this paper which is there on the file. What all is expected. Like if I were to die, I will make my things very clear. This is what I want is the moment of time. It's not in my hands, but I am putting a wish that wherever I am, if it's everything possible, I want this thing to be there. I want Tulsi plant to be next to me. I want Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 to be read to me. I want this devotee to come and sing for me. I want my closest God brothers next to me. I want this prayer to be done. I want this photograph in front of my eyes. I want to remember this. Is as detailed as possible, as simple as possible also. So this is what we do, and we don't forget that we motivate relatives to join. Because the death caregivers, end of life caregivers are still alien. They are outside family. But those who are close ones, they make it very easy for us. And the pre-death care helps us to get close to them. Then we can get them to work with us, join. Because what usually they will do when death is taking place, the mother is gasping somewhere. What do you think the relatives are doing that time? Only crying. Please understand. They lose their courage. They say, oh, the inevitable has already come now. Now what will happen? I was knowing it will come, but now I can't face it. So that time we engage the relatives in the activity. What is the activity? In our Vaishnava tradition, we will call them put tulsi in water and give jal in the mouth. Then we sit them here and pray. Give them paper of the prayer in the hand. Just chant this prayer. So what they feel is, instead of simply crying and not having of any use, they feel I am useful. I have done this many times here. When there is bomb blast, so many relatives are crying on the ground floor because patient is gasping up and the relative is on the ground floor. So I said, what is the use of your crying to the relative who is dying there? Instead of crying, sit down and I give prayer to you, start praying for your relative. And immediately they gave up crying and started praying. And they prayed for a long time. And the patient finally passed away because of bomb blast injury. But they said, sir, हम लोग तो रो के टाइम पास कर रहे थे, टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे थे, पर आपने हमको कुछ दिया, इसलिए हमको लगा हमने हमारे मरने वाले रिलेटिव्स को कुछ ना कुछ तो दिया. There was one lady in the bomb blast only. She was pregnant for the first time. She was 26-year-old. Husband was 28. Victim of bomb blast, dying in ICU. She was crying bitterly. You can imagine her state of mind. So this same German lady went to her and she said, "Who are you?" She asked, "My husband is dying there. He was a victim of bomb blast." So she first consoled her, and she said, "Would you like to help your husband or keep crying over here?" So, "No, no, no, I don't know how to help him, but I want to help him. Is there any help I can do?" She said, "Come with me." So she held her hand, took her to ICU, and gave her husband's hand in her hand. He said, "Hold her hand, hold his hand. And then you read this prayer for him. And don't worry, tell him, whatever name, Abhay, whatever name, I am with you. You are not alone. I am standing next to you when you are passing away. Don't worry, I am praying for you to God." So she also felt I am giving some strength to the dying person, and she also was receiving good strength. And then 2-3 hours she was next to dying husband, and the husband left his body or died holding her hand in hand. She was holding his hand in her hand and offering prayers. One hand on the forehead, one hand in the right hand. And then she cried a lot, but she said, "Madam, I am extremely thankful to you. I was simply uselessly crying on the first floor, but you made me useful to my husband. I became very useful to my husband. I feel I gave him support when he was alone, when he was passing away." So this is what is preparing the relatives and involving them in the care. Now we have one famous understanding that ears don't hear, you hear. Is that right? Who sees? Your eyes see or you see? Tell me. Eyes are the equipments. You are the one who is seeing through. Is the glasses seeing or I am seeing? I am seeing through the glasses, right? This is the equipment. Similarly, the eye is the equipment of the soul through which the soul is seeing, or you and me are seeing. That way, ear does not hear, the soul hears. And the soul is able to hear till the last moment of departing from the body. The person may be in deep coma. You may give him deep, painful stimuli, and he may not even move. No response. He's in deep coma. But at that stage of deep coma also, the soul, that is you and me, is able to hear. That is our firm foundation of end of life care. Then comes repeatedly putting the holy water. Now, holy water is different for different religions. For Hindu Vaishnava understanding, Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, Narmada, Sindhu, Godavari, Kaveri, all these are holy waters. For Christian tradition, Jordan River water is very holy. And for Muslims, the Zamzam River, which is in Mecca, which is very, very holy, only the Muslims can't go there during the Hajj time or during that Umrah time. And they bring. I had brought it because I was working in Saudi Arabia. So at that time, I brought a lot of water from there. And many of my Muslim patients I had given before dying. But it may not be as easily available because we have hundreds of holy river. And there's only one river in Makkah, Medina. Whoever goes only can bring. But in our ICU, you will be happy to know, we are proud to tell you, in our ICU, wherever people are likely to die, there is a refrigerator and the holy water is always kept there in the form of one nozzle. Like if you press it, the water will fall from that. You don't know how to open and all this thing. Just press it, it has a hole, it will go in the mouth of the patient straight. It's always, if it gets over, I have got stock at home, we have got stock in the department of spiritual care, and the people will keep on replenishing new bottles over there. They will also keep tulsi over there. Ready always. सूख गया तो change. Water खत्म हो गया तो change. Okay. So repeatedly we'll put the holy water. How often? Maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes you keep putting. If patient is on the ventilator, put on the side. If patient is having lot of breathing problem, just sprinkle the water on the forehead. If he is okay, then you can put in the mouth. He can also swallow. If he is alive, I mean awake, conscious, he can swallow also. Or it can remain in the mouth, no problem. The green line, praying intensely for the mercy of the Lord, is extremely important. You may have the scripture to read, or you may not have the scripture to read. You may have water available or exhausted. You may have tulsi leaf available or not available. हो सकता है कभी कभी in the middle of the night if you open the fridge, अरे है ही नहीं कुछ, कब खत्म हो गया, दिन में 2-3 लोग गुजर गए तो उनको सब दे दिया तो पानी खत्म हो गया, वापस डाला नहीं उसके अंदर, हो सकता है. All things are possible. It's raining very heavily. The spiritual care person is not able to reach because he's at home in the middle of the night. By the time he takes rickshaw, wakes up, call goes, he comes, patient may die also. So nurses in the ward are trained. We say you don't know anything, but do you have yourself? Yes, you are there. The sister on duty on call is right next to the patient. So she should pray to the Lord for that patient. Now, if I have to ask you, what one prayer you should do or you should be doing for the dying patient? You can tell me if one prayer is in your mind. If you are the only person next to the dying person at the odd hour of the day, and you are supposed to offer one prayer for that patient, so what would you offer? What prayer you will offer? My dear sisters, your staff nurses, you will come into situations hundreds of times in your life, in your career. Please understand. And nobody is trained today how to handle this situation. They feel कि मर रहा है तो मरने तो डॉक्टर का डिक्लेयर करेगा, खत्म, अपना काम क्या है. I have given adrenaline, I have given CPR, I have given everything. What else I should do? But if I am in that position, I need something more than CPR also. Now, if you are not answering, I will tell you the prayer, and don't forget that prayer. I told you in one of the verse in the beginning, Antakalecha Mameva Swaran Muktva Kalivaram. If you remember the Lord at the moment of death, you will meet the Lord without fail. So we have to ask only one prayer. My Lord, let him remember you. Intensely you pray to the Lord. He is dying, struggling with life and death. He is in tremendous pain, anxiety, fear, multiple things are there. But my Lord, I pray to you, please let him remember you in his own faith and religion. Whatever his faith is, he understands the Lord in the particular way. I see him in the way of Krishna. Somebody will say him as Lord Ram. Somebody will say as Allah. Somebody will see him as Jehovah or Jesus. Whatever the firm faith of the patient is, let him remember that. Well, by remembering that, it is guaranteed that that person will meet the Lord after the passing away and will not come back into the world of birth and death again. So this is extremely important. What we prepare the people when we train them, yes, to have the scripture, to have holy water, everything we prepare them for. But we most prepare them for this prayer. For that you may not need anything. You are there and the prayer is there. Because of your presence, the prayer is there. That's it. And of course, this is a big subject, palliative care. I will not touch that now. So these are the things I'll repeat again for you. The holy name as per your religion. Tulsi leaves, or if at all you have holy trees in your religion, you can bring the leaves. As I explained to you, many rivers names in many religions. Bring the water, offer intense prayers, read from scriptures. In Vaishnava tradition, in Bhagavad Gita, if you read from second chapter, in every part of India, Vaishnavas read second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, because in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the description of soul is given. For example, Nainam Chindanti Shastrani, Nainam Dahati Pahvakaha. The soul does not die, soul does not take birth, soul doesn't get burnt, soul doesn't get wet by water, soul can be divided into pieces by a weapon. Chindanti Shastrani. Huh? That means how soul is eternal. It cannot be burnt or made wet. It is always part of the Lord. So that is recited so that we remember that, oh, you think he is dying, but he is not dying. The body is dying. So everybody is hearing that and preparing themselves to let him be passing away. So, and the relatives, as last and not most important part. You cannot forget relatives. Always involve them because they have emotions much more than we have for the patient. We have met the patient as a patient only. They have met the patient right from their birth, childhood. They have lived with him. So they have emotional attachments. So please call them, involve them. Let them not cry that time. Let them get involved and do some activity which is pleasing to them and involving to them. Because crying does not help the dying person. You have right to express your emotions because you have emotions. But your crying at the time of death does not help the patient at all. Your prayers helps. In scripture it is mentioned that those who are praying for the patient or the person at the time of dying, the person who is dying is thanking that person. Please, I am very much, if you shed tears, वैसे कि आप बोले कि मैं मरूंगा तो एक रोने वाला भी कोई होगा नहीं वहां पर, ऐसे डायलॉग मारते पिक्चर में, है ना, एक आंख में से बूंद निकालने के लिए कोई नहीं होगा मेरे लिए, ऐसा बहुत इमोशनली बोलते हैं. बट वो आंख से टीयर निकालने वाला मनुष्य उस समय भी उसको उपयोग का रहता नहीं है. उपयोग में क्या रहता है उस टाइम पे? Those who are praying for that soul to the Lord, to connect him with the Lord. So it is said that the dying person, the soul who is leaving the body, is thanking those people who are offering prayers for him at the moment of death. He is grateful to them. Next, just for example, this is a B.T. Lalge, railway officer, one of the victims of bomb blast. He did not die. He received the end of life care, but he survived and he went back home to Nalasopara. So not necessarily everybody receives end of life care from you has to die. Also, because you have given one time end of life care, he has to die. No, that person who was like cirrhosis of liver ascites, I gave him 4 times end of life care, and 5th time he died. So not necessarily every time you give somebody has to die immediately. He may survive 1, 2, 3 end of life care also, or he may not die. He may get well and go home also. He may be in dying condition but may not die. Now see this. This is a live picture from Bhaktivedanta Hospital. She was NICU in charge. What is her name? Tracy Amma sister. She lives in Mirar only, right near the hospital. So we have called her several times and many others several times when the Christian person is dying. Because he is a Christian, he has faith in Bible, he wants to hear Bible, words of God given in Bible at the time of departure. So we honor that. See this Islam, a Christian, a Muslim patient dying, and she wants to hear from Quran, the rakats. And we are not trained to read Quran because it's in Arabic. But we call people who are concerned and they can read, they can explain, they can inspire the person. And this is spiritual care and nursing medical care going on together at the same time. Both the people understand what each other is doing and they don't interfere in each other's work. She is giving spiritual care, she is giving nursing care. This is an ICU. Huh? Again, bomb blast patient. And I have been repeatedly telling you again and again, involve relatives, involve relatives, involve relatives. So our people who are standing behind there, they are our spiritual care people. One of them who just came to help me to set up the system, right? They have done their job. They were given the holy water, they have chanted the holy name, but they want the relatives also to come and do the same. You can very well see the patient is dead already. You can see the face of the patient, right? Already blasted by bomb and it has died on the spot. But still we do all the things. We chant the holy name. Why we do that? I told you in the beginning. Because the soul exists. At death, at birth, during life, at birth, every time the soul is around. The soul is around only. He has left the body. Doesn't mean he has gone away. So when you are offering through the body, the soul is receiving the nourishment through the holy name, through the holy waters, through the reading, through your prayers, through your association. So this is a relative. And he is offering Ganga Jal in the mouth of the patient. You can see very closely. Is there a green thing in the lips? Do you see the green thing in the lip? That is tulsi leaf. Yeah. This is another patient. Same bomb blast. But he died after 3 minutes of this. He received Ganga Jal and he died. And the same person is giving him Ganga Jal. Again, tulsi leaf and Ganga Jal. So what is required over? You can see, na? So much blood, injury, blasting, everything is there. There is a lot of courage required to stand there, to give care. Huh? And when bomb blast occurred, there was only one patient. The 44 patients came together, out of which 13 died on the spot in front of our eyes. All 13 received all end of life care. And others were struggling in ICU. 22 of them, they survived, but remaining died after a few days. And they also, at one point of time, there was a queue of dead bodies like this. And 2, 3 people were sitting there. They were just showing, opening and showing. Not this, not this, not this. Ah, this one, this one. So there was such an intense emotional situation. And the person would say, मेरे को नहीं बैठना है इधर, किसी और को बिठाओ. सब लोग बैठेंगे बोलेंगे मुझे नहीं बैठना है, तो उधर बैठेगा कौन? That means to give this care, lot of courage is required, lot of training is required, lot of willpower is required, lot of compassion is required, because you want to somehow or other connect the soul to the Lord in whatever condition. Why I'm saying whatever condition? At time of bomb blast, one stretcher brought 3 legs in them, 2 of the patient and 1 of somebody else. When you opened the white cloth, there were 3 legs in that. So what kind of feeling you get when you are hearing, but when you see that, what will happen to you? But these people in my department are fully trained. They are not ruthless, but they are trained not to get scared and to keep doing their seva in spite of difficult situation. 72 hours they were on duty during bomb blast time. Nobody went home only. They took bath here only, they slept for a few hours here only, they ate here only, and they were on board 24 hours for 3 full days till the acute crisis did not get over. As much as medical people had so much work to make them live and survive, our spiritual care department has lot of work to deal with relatives, to give them Ganga Jal, involve them in giving Ganga Jal, calling them, giving them counseling, giving them consolation. So much of work was there. And we did for 20 or 24/7, 3 days, full time. They also got exhausted, but they had desire to help. That's why they were on board. They just say, "हो गया मेरा काम, जा रहा हूँ मैं, थक गया अभी मैं." Who will do the next 2 days? So that kind of training is required, and we give that training to our people, and they don't get said. Ladies, men who are trained in that, they are full time on the job. Now also, if now call comes from ICU, my staff will leave job and just run to ICU, and 3 hours they will spend there, so that the dying person gets connection with the Lord somehow or other. Yena kena prakarena. This is the scene I told you. I came and met these people. They were all sitting and crying there. I told them, don't cry. Stand up and pray. So they offered prayers. I told them what to pray, and they felt fruitful. क्योंकि यहाँ बैठ के 8 घंटा 10 घंटा केवल रोना है, क्या फायदा है उसका? Then they started praying. I said, take the name of your patient and offer prayers for that particular person. And they did that for many hours, and they felt very satisfied. And what is this? When somebody is dying, the relatives forget to eat. This is common observation, right? They don't drink water, they don't eat food, and sometimes people faint because of hypoglycemia, hypotension. क्या हुआ? वो सुबह 11 बजे आई थी, अभी तक एक बूंद पानी भी नहीं पिया, एक कण अन्न भी नहीं खाया उसने. So what we see, what we do when we see somebody is dying and lot of mob is there, na, we request them, go and drink water, go and eat food and come, because then you can serve the patient. If you fall unconscious because of hypertension, hypoglycemia, then we have to serve you instead of the patient. And then they understand, and then they go. At 2 o'clock in the night, when they found their patient of bomb blast, they were searching from hospital to hospital. They went to Bhagwati, they went to Cooper, they went to this, that, and finally they came to Bhakti Vedanta, and they found their patient कि अपना गुम हो गया आदमी इधर बॉम्ब ब्लास्ट में मिला, मीरा भाईंदर के बीच में हुआ था, उसमें वो विक्टिम हो गया, इधर भक्ति वेदांत में आ गया, मिल गया. तभी उनको याद आया, कुछ खाया नहीं 15 घंटे से, अभी 2 बजे रात को कौन सा होटल खुला है. So we opened our cafeteria. And from that time onwards, for 72 hours, our cafeteria was on. Free khichdi distribution. Anybody come and take. And we were insisting, go जाके खा के आओ, खाली पेट मत रहो, पानी पियो, उधर पानी रखा है वो पानी पियो, उधर फाउंटेन है उधर पानी पियो, और खिचड़ी का सप्लाई अनलिमिटेड फ्री ऑफ चार्ज है, खाते रहो, भूखे मत रहो, प्यासे मत रहो, ताकि आपका कुछ उपयोग हो जाए. कुछ फोन करेंगे तो बोलेगा रिलेटिव क्या कर रहा है, बेहोश हो गया, क्या फायदा उसका? हम फोन करेंगे तो वी शुड बी अवेलेबल टू हेल्प अस. So this is also important help. You see the way they are eating, how hungry they must be. एक प्लेट में दोनों बैठ कर 2 बजे खा रहे हैं, है ना. And this is, as I'll show some pictures to you, counseling people, preparing people the moment of death, fulfilling their desires, talking to them with great love and affection. See the hand. We are trained to hold hands also. How to hold the hands, where to put the hand on the forehead, how to hold the hand, how to caress the hand, what to talk while doing that, what to pray. Everything is fully trained. This is not mechanical. Out of love and full training. And there is one important thing what we have here, that is called grief room. Because there are sometimes many relatives and everybody cannot come into ICU. So they're all waiting outside ICU or somewhere else in the lounge. And then patient bed number 8 actually finally after receiving end of life care dies, for example. Then you come out of the ICU and you say bed number 8 कोई relatives है क्या? तो 4-5 जन हाथ ऊपर करेंगे. तो क्या करेंगे आप? आपका पेशेंट गुजर गया, बहुत कोशिश किया लेकिन बचा नहीं. ऐसे नहीं करेंगे. उनको बुलाएंगे, आ जाओ कम. और उनको एक कमरा हमने बना के रखा है स्पेशल. उधर लेके जाएंगे, तो सोफ़ा है, उधर रेफ्रिजरेटर है, वॉशरूम भी है. उनको वहाँ जाके बिठाएंगे. अगर कोई माता जी यानी औरत होगी तो लेडी केयर टेकर जो है उसके कंधे पे हाथ डाल के बैठेगी. अगर कोई पुरुष होगा तो कोई मेल केयर टेकर होगा, वो उसके कंधे पे हाथ डाल के बैठेगा और धीरे धीरे उसको कहानी बताएगा. 11 बजे ऐसा हुआ, फिर वो गैस्पिंग शुरू हो गया, फिर हमने ये किया, फिर हमने वो किया, फिर हमने गंगा जल दिया, फिर हमने तुलसी दिया. तभी तक वो होश में थे, उनको रिस्पॉन्ड दे रहे थे. हमने उनको पिलाया तो पूरा पिया उन्होंने, आँख खोल के हमको देखा भी और थैंक यू भी बोला. और 2 घंटे के बाद में फिर वो प्राण छोड़ दिए. न्यूज़ क्या है इसके अंदर? एक ही न्यूज़ है, एक लाइन वाला, प्राण छोड़ दिए. लेकिन वो आप सीधा बोलेंगे प्राण छोड़िए तो वो बेहोश हो जाएगा. उधर स्टोरी बनाएंगे तो वो धीरे धीरे डाइजेस्ट करेगा. वो ठंडा पानी का ग्लास उसको देना है बीच बीच में पीने के लिए, ताकि वो कोलैप्स ना हो जाए. खड़े खड़े न्यूज़ डिक्लेयर नहीं करना है, बैठ के डिक्लेयर करना है. खड़े खड़े करेंगे तो ठाप करके नीचे गिर जाएगा. ऑल दिस थिंग्स आर इंपॉर्टेंट. हाउ टू डिक्लेयर अ डेथ is also part of death. That is called post death care. How to declare, where to declare, what story to make, how to make the story. वो भी एक साइंस है. और फिर अगर वो लास्ट लाइन आपका स्टोरी का सुन के भी टूट फूट के रोने लगा तो उधर बैठ के उसको कंसोल करने का, टिल ही कंट्रोल, पानी पिलाने का, उसको शांत हो गया, सेटल हो गया, फिर 2 आदमी के साथ में उसको घर भेज देने का. फिर वो पूछेगा अभी क्या करना है, बोलेगा डोंट वरी, मॉर्चरी में रखेंगे, सर्टिफिकेट लेके आएंगे, मॉर्चरी बुक करेंगे, तब तक रिलेटिव को लेके आओ नीचे, वहाँ पर ग्राउंड में आप बॉडी मिलेगी आपको, फिर ले जाओ. ये गाइडेंस भी देना ज़रूरी होता है, क्योंकि कितना भी डेथ केयर में एक्सपर्ट आदमी भी रहेगा ना, उसका घर में जब डेथ होता है ना तो वो कंफ्यूज होता है. याद रखना. आप कितने भी एक्सपर्ट नर्स होंगे, आपके नर्सिंग करियर में कितना भी डेथ आपने देखा होगा, कितने लोगों को गाइड किया होगा, ऐसा करो वैसा करो. आपके घर में कोई डेथ हो गया ना, आप पूछेंगे अभी क्या करूं, whom to ask, what to do, what next to do, as if you don't know anything, because death is such an event, it will put you in full confusion. So that is why this kind of guidance by somebody else who is peaceful is also important. And then we show consolation, concern and care. We call it grief room. It's still existing in Bhaktivedanta Hospital. Special place. We may use for multiple purpose, but that time this is meant for only that purpose. So this is how I rushed briefly through the process of end of life care. I repeat some important points. End of life care is given to the soul, not to the body, but through the body, by putting water in the mouth, by sprinkling holy waters on the face, on the head. We use the body, but our aim, our target audience is the soul. And why we do it? Because we have faith that if we help the patient to remember the Lord at the time of death, he is sure to meet the Lord and will not come back again to suffer in the material world. That is why we have developed this whole program in Bhaktivedanta Hospital of giving end of life care to dying people. Our goal is, in Bhaktivedanta Hospital, nobody should die without receiving end of life care. And sometimes in the middle of the life, in the middle of rains or in the middle of some crisis, somebody may be missed. We are always working hard for 24/7 to see that in this hospital, if anybody dies, We have to make a system in such a way that somebody is always there to do the needful. If not elaborate, at least minimal. Giving tulsi leaf, giving Ganga Jal, holy waters, whatever is available, offering a prayer if nothing is available. That kind of minimal care has to be given. And that's our persistent efforts to see that people are on call every single day. Call goes to the on-call person. He comes running from home or he is down there and he will do the needful. If he doesn't come in time, patient passes away before that, then the on-duty sister will know exactly what to do. Hare Krishna. Are there any questions? I have got how many minutes? 15 minutes, I think. Right? So are there any questions? Yes. The microphone then. I wish I could tell you for 2.5 elaborate hours, but I tried to tell you within short time. Yes. So good question. So good question. There is something called as, you can write down if you like. It's something called as advanced directives. That means in advance we create directives, guidelines. And what we do in advanced directives, we ask the patient when he is all right, he's not in unconscious or in a delirious condition, he's in communicative conditions, he's sane, he's alert, he's conscious. So that time we ask him, प्रभु जी माता जी आपको क्या क्या इच्छा है? तो बोलेंगे मुझे अभी अमेरिका जाना है और एक बार घूम के आना है. फिर बोलेगा मुझे तिरुपति जाना है, फिर मुझे ग्रैंडपा को मिलना है, फिर मुझे वो आंटी को मिलके सॉरी बोलना है, इसको मिलके थैंक यू बोलना है. हाँ, ऐसे 50. और मुझे ये मेरा जो प्रॉपर्टी है वो मंदिर को डोनेशन देना है, ये मेरा जो गोल्ड है मेरे को डॉटर को देना है, ये जो है वो मेरे सन को देना है. तो ऐसे ना 17, 18, 20, 25 आइटम भी हो सकते हैं. आपका काम क्या है? मेक द लिस्ट. आप बैठे हो, आज आपका एडवांस डायरेक्टिव का काम एक दिन में पूरा होगा, गारंटी नहीं है. आज भी बैठो, कल भी बैठो, वो कल कुछ भूल गया तो आज याद आएगा उसको, आज भूल गया तो कल याद आएगा. ऐसे करके 2-3 दिन में वो एडवांस्ड डायरेक्टिव्स का लिस्ट बनता है. फिर आप क्या करते हो? डॉक्टर के साथ बैठते हो वो लिस्ट लेके और डॉक्टर से पूछते हो इसमें क्या पॉसिबल है. डॉक्टर बोलेगा ये कंडीशन में अमेरिका इम्पॉसिबल, बेंगलोर में भी पॉसिबल, क्विक एयर जर्नी और एयर लिफ्टिंग एम्बुलेंस अगर करेंगे तो, या तो बेस्ट वे वो आंटी को बुलाओ, बेंगलोर की आंटी को, और उधर इधर मिलाओ उसको. सो देन व्हाट हैपेंस इज दैट एडवांस डायरेक्टिव लिस्ट है ना, इट गेट्स मॉडिफाइड, इट गेट्स एडिटेड और इट गेट्स प्रायोरिटाइज्ड. अब क्या बोलेंगे, 17 तो ऐसे ही मन में ऐसा बोल दिया, हम लोगों को बोला फर्स्ट कम फर्स्ट, सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट क्या है, नंबर 2, सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट नंबर 3. फिर उसको लाइन्स डालेंगे और एक पॉसिबल लिस्ट बनाएंगे, एक इम्पॉसिबल लिस्ट बनाएंगे. वो हमारा काम है. द पीपल हु आर गिविंग डेथ केयर उनका काम है वो पैलिएटिव केयर का. एंड देन विल स्टार्ट एग्जीक्यूटिंग. तो कभी कभी कुछ कुछ एग्जीक्यूट लगता है कि हो सकता है, लेकिन वो कभी कभी नहीं हो सकता है. तो वी हैव टू बी रियलिस्टिक एंड एवरी टाइम यू हैव टू डू गुड कम्युनिकेशन विद द पेशेंट. कि पेशेंट को बोलना है सर मैडम ये जो अमेरिका है ना ये पॉसिबल नहीं है अभी, आप उधर सर्वाइव नहीं कर पाओगे इतना ट्रैवलिंग जर्नी. तो पेशेंट में अंडरस्टैंड एंड मैं एग्री कि ठीक है अमेरिका भूल जाओ, आंटी को मिल सकता हूँ क्या, मेरे को बैंगलोर जाना है. और बैंगलोर नहीं जा सकते आप आंटी को हम बुला लेंगे, हम लोग कोऑर्डिनेट करेंगे, आंटी को बुला लेंगे. वो मेरा वो प्रॉपर्टी का क्या हो, वो मेरे को मंदिर को देने का था, हम लोग लॉयर को बुला रहे हैं, विल मेक द विल एंड विल मेक श्योर दैट ये प्रॉपर्टी विल गो टू टेम्पल व्हाटएवर. सो all advanced directives may not be fulfilled, but what is important, you if you are giving your advanced directives to me, you should know if this is possible, it's not possible. हमारे लोकल भाषा में क्या बोलते हैं, हवा में लटका रखना नहीं उसको, वो सोचता रहेगा ये करेंगे 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 और किया ही नहीं, उन्होंने बताया भी नहीं कुछ. पेशेंट को ऐसा पजल में छोड़ना नहीं है. आपने लिस्ट बनाया 3 दिन बैठ के, लिस्ट पढ़ के सुनाओ और डॉक्टर से मिलके बताओ ये 17 में से अभी 10 पॉसिबल है, 7 को भूलना पड़ेगा. If patient is happy with it, understood everything, then he's okay with that. But if you not explain to him ना, फिर वो frustrated हो जाता है. He'll get frustrated. Most important part of all the aspects of end of life care is communication. Explain. Take out time and energy. Explain. Take pain to explain. But once he is explained and he understood, then everything is fine. Any other question? अरे ये दुनिया अगर मिल भी जाए तो क्या है। तो जो होते हैं ना पंछी अच्छे दिनों वाले, वो सब उड़ जाते हैं, एंड में कोई नहीं मिलता है। और वही मिलता है जो आप पर रियल प्रेम करता है, वही तकलीफ उठाने के लिए आता है। बाकी सब लोग अच्छे टाइम वाले ना, गुड टाइमर्स ऑल वैनिश। तो हमारे पास सबको क्या देखना है कि अभी जब वो पहली बार हॉस्पिटल में आया था ना, तो 10 लोग आए थे उसको लेके हाथ पकड़ के, अरे मैडम को क्या हो गया, टेस्ट ब्लड टेस्ट ये करने को। धीरे धीरे 10 की 4 हो गए, 4 के 2 बज गए। अभी हमको 2 जो आ रहे हैं रोज ना, इतने तकलीफ में, नींद न लेते हुए, पैसा नहीं है, लोन लेके आते हैं हेल्प करने के लिए, वो 2 को लेके आपको आगे का काम करना है। आपके हाथ में कौन सा शस्त्र है, वो शस्त्र लेके आपको लड़ना है। आप बोलेंगे ना AK-47 नहीं मिला, वो नहीं मिला, जो हाथ में है वो तुम्हारा शस्त्र है। आइडियल तो बहुत होता है ना, आइडियल तो बहुत होता है, 15 लोग चाहिए आपको हेल्प करने के लिए, सुबह 3, दोपहर को 3, रात नाइट शिफ्ट में 3, अच्छा है, लग्जरी है। लेकिन मिलता है कैसे, उन्हीं लोगों को 3-3 शिफ्ट करना पड़ता है। वो लोग बीमार पड़ जाते हैं, उनको बैकएक होता है, उनको डायबिटीज होता है, उनको क्या क्या नहीं होता है। तो हम लोगों को सबको संभालना पड़ता है। एंड ऑफ लाइफ केयर है ना, एक केवल पेशेंट का नहीं है, मैं आपको बार बार बोला था, ये केयर रिलेटिव्स के लिए भी है। जो भी सफर होते हैं, डेथ उनकी भी लाइफ में चलती है, इनकी डेथ उनके लाइफ में चलती है। ये पूरा साइंस है। ये केवल अकेले का केयर नहीं है, ये सारे जितने लोग आसपास के हैं, इंक्लूडिंग डॉक्टर्स और नर्सेज हु आर टेकिंग केयर, उनका भी केयर लेना पड़ता है। बस वो लोग भी एग्जॉस्ट हो जाते हैं। पेशेंट को इतना दर्द होता है, इतना तकलीफ है, इमोशनल पेन है, सोशल पेन है, उसको कितने क्वेश्चन है, उसका आंसर नहीं मिल रहा है, पैसे नहीं है, बिल बाकी है, पेंडिंग है, हेल्प करने को कोई नहीं है, कितने दर्द है पेशेंट को और रिलेटिव्स को, वो सब लोग हम लोग संभालते हैं उसको। इट्स ऑल कंप्रेहेंसिव केयर। इसमें सब लोग आते हैं, जो कनेक्शन में सब लोग आते हैं। कभी कभी तो इमीडिएट रिलेटिव आते ही नहीं है, कोई फ्रेंड ही आता है, कोई दोस्त ही आता है दिन रात तड़पने के लिए। वही सच्चा साथी है अंतिम यात्रा में, आपका साथ ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है। और कोई प्रश्न है, आप बिना संकोच के पूछो, क्योंकि ये सब्जेक्ट और कहीं डिस्कस नहीं होता है ना होगा। आपको सारे और बड़े बड़े सेमिनार करेंगे आप, लेकिन जो इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है ये, जो आपको दिन रात आपका प्रश्न मन में, आपको ऐसा नहीं कि वो पूछ रही है आपको प्रश्न नहीं है, आपका भी ये प्रश्न है, आपने भी ऐसे एक्सपीरियंस किया हुआ है, क्या करें अभी को है ही नहीं, रिपोर्ट लाने के लिए कोई नहीं, रिपोर्ट को ले जाने के लिए कोई नहीं है, बिल भरने के लिए कोई नहीं, समझा करने के लिए कोई नहीं है। कितने प्रश्न होते हैं नर्स लोगों को, और अधिकतर नर्स लोग ही उनके साथ में रहते हैं। हम डॉक्टर लोग आते हैं जाते हैं, बार बार आते जाते, लेकिन 24/7 8 आवर्स ड्यूटी कॉन्टिन्यूसली कौन रहते हैं पेशेंट के साथ, नर्स लोग रहते हैं। वो आंखों देखा हाल क्लोज देखते हैं, क्लोज, इमोशनल अप एंड डाउन, रिलेटिव्स आना जाना, फाइनेंशियल डिफिकल्टी, सब आंखों देखा हाल है उनके लिए। इसलिए आप संकोच मत करो, क्योंकि आप लोग उस पेशेंट के लाइफ में मरने के समय बहुत बड़ा अंतर ला सकते हो, बहुत बड़ा परिवर्तन ला सकते हो। उसका रोना धोना, भय, जो भी कुछ है, उसको आप एक फेस्टिवल में चेंज कर सकते हो, एक खुशी खुशी का ट्रांसफर कर सकते हो। डेथ मे बी अ सेलिब्रेशन, इट कैन बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू अ सेलिब्रेशन। मुझे ये विश्वास है इस बात का कि जब मैं मरूंगा, एक उत्सव के रूप में मरूंगा, रोते रोते नहीं मरूंगा। तो मुझे पता है कि ये रोने की चीज़ है ही नहीं, एक्चुअली सब रोते हैं, लेकिन ये रोने की चीज़ नहीं है। ये भगवान को मिलने की आनंदमय घटना है। अगर हमने उसको कन्वर्ट किया तो, अगर ये सब नहीं किया तो रोना ही है और कुछ नहीं करना है, ध्यान रखना इस बात का। ये सब करेंगे तो पेशेंट भी राजी खुशी मरने को तैयार हो जाएगा, और मरने के लिए डरेगा नहीं, बोले ठीक है मैं तैयार हो गया, आई एम प्रिपेयर्ड बाय योर ग्रेस एंड बाय योर हेल्प, आई एम रेडी टू डाई। कब मरना है बताओ, आप मुझे इन्फॉर्म करो कि आपका टाइम आ गया है, अभी एक्टिव प्रोसेस शुरू हो गया है सर आपका, अभी 6 घंटे में आप भगवान के पास जाएंगे। तो एकदम खुशी से भगवान का नाम लेगा, बोला चलो अंतिम घड़ी आ गई, मुझे भगवान को मिलने की घड़ी आ गई। ये हमने देखा है होते हुए, ये मैं खाली आपको थियोरी बुक में पढ़ के नहीं बता रहा हूँ। हमारे हॉस्पिटल के 28 साल के इतिहास में सैकड़ों लोग इस तरह से गुजरे हैं। जो हरे कृष्णा वाले हैं वो भी गुजरे हैं, जो सामान्य व्यक्ति समाज के हैं, अलग धर्मों के हैं, वो भी इस प्रकार से गुजरे हैं। कुछ घर में गुजरे हैं, कुछ हॉस्पिटल में गुजरे हैं, कुछ हमारे वृंदावन के हॉस्पिस में गुजरे हैं। हमने अपने आंखों से देखा है कि ये सब मुमकिन है, और ये होता है, और ये हुआ भी है। ये विश्वास दिलाने के लिए मैं यहाँ पर खड़ा हूँ। मैं केवल आपको रटी रटी पड़ी पड़ी बातें नहीं बता रहा हूँ, मैं आपको वो बातें बता रहा हूँ जो हमने अपने जीवन में अनुभव किया है। और ये हो सकता है। और आप ये मत समझो अरे सर आपने तो बहुत रिसर्च किया है, बहुत काम किया है, 28 साल काम किया है, मैं तो छोटी सी हूँ, मैं क्या करूँ। कोई छोटा बड़ा नहीं होता है, जो मृत्यु के टाइम पे होता है ना उपलब्ध, ही इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पर्सन। इफ यू आर अवेलेबल, यू आर नॉट स्मॉल, यू आर अ बिग पर्सन। इफ यू आर नॉट अवेलेबल, however big you are, no value. But if somebody is dying and you are next to that person available, you are the most important game changer. आप उसका दिशा बदली कर सकते हो. You can change his life. You can change the direction and destiny of his life just by your presence. And don't think you are ordinary. You are as much a soul, as much I am the soul, as much she is the soul. Everybody is equally a soul. Nobody is big soul or small soul. Please understand. That soul who is available to help is a great soul. And that great soul who is not available to help is not a great soul. At that time, he is not a great soul. He may be a great soul, but वो available नहीं होगा. हम लोगों को available होना है और useful होना है और game changer बनना है. और कोई प्रश्न? You have any question? You can also ask. You have any question? You have any? If patient is not giving permission, this is also possible. It is possible. वो बोलेगा मुझे कुछ नहीं करना है, छोड़ दो मुझे, अकेला छोड़ दो. So that time what we do? We respect his desire. Ultimately, the respect and dignity of a dying person is most important. You cannot cross his dignity of desire. उसको करना है तो उसकी इच्छा है, नहीं करना है तो भी उसकी इच्छा है. You have to learn to respect that desire. And now you know you can't do anything because it is desire. We are respecting his desire. What do? You go back to your desk, go back to your room and sit in prayer. What prayer? My Lord, let him remember you. Whatever condition he is in, let him remember you. हम लोग भी ऐसे कंडीशन में आ गए हैं. कभी कभी लोग ना जिंदगी में इतना गुस्सा हो जाते हैं ना, इन लाइफ दे आर सो अपसेट, सो एंग्री, उनको किसी की हेल्प नहीं चाहिए, मरने दो, मैं आई डोंट वांट टू टेक एनीबॉडीज हेल्प, मैं अकेले मरूंगा, मैं देखूंगा मेरे भगवान के साथ क्या करना है. नोबडी शुड कम एंड बॉदर मी. उसको भी रिस्पेक्ट करना है क्योंकि उसकी फीलिंग है वो, इट्स अ जेन्युइन फीलिंग. उसको लगता है कि नहीं चाहिए मुझे कोई, मैं देख लूंगा अपना. गो बैक इन द रूम एंड प्रे फॉर हिम बिकॉज he may not understand or he may understand, but everybody needs help. If that help is not taking directly from you, give him indirectly. See, God is watching everything. You may do the care right in front of the patient, or you may go in the room and do it in seclusion. God is watching, and your genuine prayer will never be unheard. It will be always heard by the Lord because Lord knows your heart. You may not make a show. You don't have to make a show in front of the Lord. The Lord will always know what is in your heart, with what feeling you are doing this thing. And our nursing profession, medical profession is very important profession because what we can do, nobody can do. Not because we are proud, but we are saying that we are there when death is happening, right? And we know what is happening. We are in full knowledge and we can make a difference. And as doctor and nurse, we must make a difference. We cannot go pass by without making a difference. Otherwise, our life as a doctor and nurse is useless, is a waste. आई हैव टेकन अप टू माई सेल्फ कि अगर मैं खड़ा रहूंगा तो मैं कुछ ना कुछ तो करूंगा ही. अननोन होगा, नोन होगा, मेरा मित्र होगा, शत्रु होगा, मेरा दुश्मन होगा, अगर मेरे सामने मरता होगा तो मैं कुछ ना कुछ तो करूंगा ही. मेरे बस में जो भी कुछ है पूरा नॉलेज यूज करूंगा मैं उस टाइम का. बिकॉज मोमेंट ऑफ डेथ इज नॉट द टाइम टू टेक आउट योर एनिमिटी. पुरानी दुश्मनी निकालने का समय नहीं है वो. डेथ ऐसा इवेंट है, आपको सब कुछ भूल के उस समय हेल्प करना होता है, क्योंकि ऐसी घटना आपके जीवन में भी हो सकती है. आप गुजर रहे होंगे और आपका दुश्मन जो आपको नहीं चाहिए वो आपके सामने होगा. क्या कर सकते हैं आप? वो ड्यूटी पर वही डॉक्टर है, वही नर्स है जो आपको अच्छी लगती नहीं. क्या करेंगे? भगवान की योजना है वो. जिंदगी में क्या फेस करना पड़ेगा कोई मालूम है किसी को क्या? वी शुड बी रेडी ऑलवेज. इन ऑल कंडीशंस ऑफ लाइफ वी आर रेडी. ऐसे होना चाहिए. इसलिए कहते हैं ना, ये न के न प्रकार न, किसी भी प्रकार से तैयार रहना चाहिए हमेशा. और तैयार रहने के लिए नॉलेज भी होना चाहिए ना, क्या होता है उस टाइम पे, क्या प्रसंग होता है, क्या संघर्ष करना पड़ता है, क्या प्रश्न चुनौतियाँ होती है, क्या चैलेंज होते हैं. नॉलेज होगा तो हम लोग फेस करेंगे. नॉलेज में तो क्या है, अज्ञान में तो क्या सब अंधकार होता है ना, वो अज्ञान तिमिरांधस्य. इसलिए नॉलेज हमारा सबसे बड़ा काम है, नॉलेज देना. ये विषय अभी तक कोई लोग ज़्यादा पढ़ना भी नहीं चाहते हैं, लोग सोचना भी नहीं चाहते हैं, ऑप्शन में डालते हैं. हमारा काम है उसको जागृति करना, लोगों को अलर्ट करना उसके बारे में. क्योंकि आप चाहे न चाहो, आपकी जिंदगी में ये प्रसंग या तो पेशेंट के जीवन में या आपके खुद के जीवन में आने ही वाला है। अभी से तैयारी करो। और हम लोग डेथ केयर के हमारे पीछे और एक विश्वास है हमारे मन में, मैं बोल देता हूँ लास्ट लाइन। हम लोग तो दिल से करते हैं, भगवान पर हमारा भरोसा है, भगवान का नाम लेते हैं, जिंदगी में करते आए हैं बहुत साल तक, लोगों को हेल्प भी करते आए हैं। लेकिन हमारे पीछे एक और भी हमारा विचार है कि हम जितना लोगों को एंड ऑफ लाइफ केयर देंगे, भगवान की याद दिलाएंगे, जब मैं मरूंगा ना तो मुझे भगवान किसी को भेजेंगे याद दिलाने के लिए। ये हमारा ठाम विश्वास है। अगर मैं किधर टिम्बकटू में मरता रहेगा ना, कोई हमारा रहेगा नहीं, कोई जंगल में, बेट में, किधर आइलैंड पे, उधर भगवान के फरिश्ते आएंगे मुझे याद दिलाने के लिए। क्योंकि मैंने अगर इतना किया है लोगों के लिए तो भगवान भी मेरे लिए करेंगे, इतना मेरी श्रद्धा है इस बात पर। तो आवर केयर विल नेवर गो वेस्ट। इफ यू आर गिवन एनीबडी some care at time of death, at your time of death, people will come and give you care. They may know you, they may not know you, they may be saintly, may not be saintly, but they will come and help you. Because हम सबके बीच में भगवान बैठे हुए हैं, सबके बीच में है, दिखते नहीं लेकिन सबके बीच में हमारा कनेक्शन भगवान का है, और वो हम जताएंगे तो भगवान भी जताएंगे उसको। ठीक है, कोई प्रश्न है लास्ट कोई किसी का? ओके, थैंक यू वेरी मच। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।